Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you a 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello. Don't despair. Even if you're using the gentlest of hands and the paint comes off with it, don't despair. Don't despair. But let's prevent this. Seal your drywall properly with a quality sealer and use a quality paint. That's paint coming off. And there's always going to be casualties removing wallpaper. Always. That has to come off. But this is not due to removing it. This is due to the wall not being prepared properly. I'm pushing it back down because theoretically, there's glue in this compound. In fact, if you let it dry, that's reattached. Okay, but I rubbed the texture off. I made it flat. This is an orange peel texture. If this is your project, you're removing wallpaper, here's what I want you to do. First of all, do not drink alcohol while you're on a ladder. But get yourself your favorite alcoholic beverage, unless you don't drink. The night before you engage in this project, have the equivalent of what makes you merry before the next day when you endeavor to take this down and do this. Make sure your spouse is at work so that when you lose it, he or she is not around to scream at. And then just go for it. Now, if your spouse is around and you decided that you're going to test the limits of your relationship, by all means, do this with your spouse. And if you're really good, you can engage in the practice of penitential silence, so that when you're removing wallpaper with your spouse, you promise not to speak to each other. or scream at each other. And you just promise to be silent so that this and this and this doesn't cause you to say something that you and I both know you're gonna regret. Remember the wine. And don't get on the ladder after you have a little wine, because wallpaper removal and alcohol don't match. I soaked this material for 1 full hour, and I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about this. Nonetheless, I can't tell people I failed. I don't have a choice to give up, but you do. And you can just call me. What am I using? I'm using a wallpaper smoother. And I'm removing cheap wallpaper. Oh yeah, this is cheap. Not only is it cheap, the walls were not protected with a sealer to seal the texture down. Because when you necessarily wet the wallpaper, you're also compromising the strength of the cheap paint underneath, which isn't good. It's not good. And
you want something to eat or drink?
how about a drink? How about a drink? That's cool.
I've got Diet Dr. Pepper, ice water.
Ice water.
Ice water.
Yeah. Why not? Thank
I don't
you.
know if any easier.
Yeah, it is. I hate to say it, but it is. Because I wet it more. But the casualty to the wall is more evident for having wet it more. And you'll see, your painter will see that he has some spot repairs where he has to spray on that texture after he puts a nice sealant over this residual paste. Now, I'm going to leave that part of the video in to show you how nice my customers are to me. Because they feel for me. The room is 110% humidity from the saturation of the air with moisture for having wet this. Now, my method of wetting it, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yes. Now, many of you go on my channel for wallpaper removal. Please take note. I have over 12 videos on wallpaper removal. And I want to tell you, there's one called When Wallpaper Removal Becomes Impossible. In the description of that video, I link all or almost all of them, all of my wallpaper removal videos, according to difficulty. There are 3 levels of difficulty. 1, easy peasy. 2, so-so. And 3, next to impossible. And then I show you what to do when it's nearly impossible. And when I say nearly impossible, I make that statement so as to tell you that it doesn't pay. It's not worth it for your time to spend trying to get it down, because there would be so many casualties of war on your walls that it would be simply easier to employ the method I describe in that video, which I'm not going to do here because I don't want you good folks jumping the gun. But I do give an alternative to removing wallpaper. And you have to watch the video to figure out which wallpaper you can use the procedure I suggest to get it down. So several people call me about wallpaper removal, and I get to know right away. I profile my customers. When they send me notes on Saturday night, it's usually after a family dispute has erupted, because Saturday, all the do-it-yourselfer warriors come out. They pick up hammers, they're hanging wallpaper, they're removing wallpaper, they're fighting over it. And by Saturday night, here's what we have left among the people who remove wallpaper. The husband leaves by about early afternoon. He gets angry and he quits. He quits, and the good wife is left with a ladder and a mess. Because both of them failed to contact Spencer Colgan and go through my 15-minute counseling course for married persons who engage in the unreasonable and irrational endeavor to do this together. I have a 15-minute free. Anything beyond 15 minutes I charge for my counseling for married persons who endeavor to do this together. And it's a quick assessment of the personalities involved and their emotional proclivities to lose it. And I make an assessment on whether or not I suggest that they try to do this together. Usually, my recommendation is that they just call me and let me do it. But for those warriors who wish to do this together, I begin recommending or trying to ascertain their favorite alcoholic beverage so that it's on hand before and after the project, so that they love each other after they take it down the way they loved each other before they began taking it down. Okay? That's all. Have you seen enough of this boring stuff? I'm trying to show you, in a funny way, the patience you should employ when you endeavor to do this alone, or with anybody. Seriously, all kidding aside, there is one universal key factor in every wallpaper removal project. And I'm going to say it, and you're going to forget it. Patience and water. I'll say it again. Patience and water. If you don't have the patience to do this in the same area 10 times, the first few to feel if it's wet enough, the rest to keep doing this to get it off, and another couple minutes to get it all off. And don't quit here. I get a call. Yeah, I need you to remove this paper. I'm like, wait a second. Who did that? My wife and I. Stop right there, sir. That was your first mistake. Did you guys have a fight? Yeah, how'd you know? Babe, he knows we had a fight. Well, I know because you quit. And I know in marriage, when two people are working together and they quit, it's usually after they've had a fight. But I'm here to tell you, if you use patience and lots of water, you can get it down. See that? I'm using patience now. I became the king at this because my patience has been tried very far. Plus, all kidding aside, I went to the Spencer Colgan University of Wallpaper Hanging and Removal. It was an arduous course. First of all, the instructor, I hope, he's very difficult. Very difficult guy. Very hard to get along with guy. Very demanding, but I'll tell you what, his course was amazing. Spencer is he's a very, very serious about what he does. And he kind of thinks who he is. But anyway, the school was well worth it. And it's just that the guy's got a tremendous ego. Like he thinks he can do everything. But anyway, that university, Spencer Colgan Wallpaper Hanging and Removal University, the course was well worth the money. The guy's funny, very bright guy. And I think you can find him online. Very good. But it was worth it. I tell my customers, I went to a hard school for this. Get out of here, they say. Oh yeah. No, I went to the Colgan University Wallpaper Hanging and Removal. Wow, where is that? I said, oh, it's close to home. Close to home, you know? Oh, great, that's great. Nobody's listening to you anyway. I say it's close to home. Close to home, and for me, it was cheap. It was cheap. Great. And sometimes I tell them that, don't worry, you're in good hands. Because I was recently awarded the certificate of having achieved the best wallpaper installer title in the state of Florida. And while they gasp in awe, I throw in there by my wife and children. And knowing they won't hear that, but knowing I'm obligated to be honest, I throw it in there to fulfill the virtue of justice. So I'm not lying. And then they just love me. This guy graduated from the Colgan or something University of Wallpaper. We gotta hire this guy. He said his instructor was a pain in the neck. We gotta hire the guy, babe. Okay. And then, depending upon their attention span, they tell each other that I was rated the #1 installer in the entire state of Florida by my wife and children, but they don't say that. And then I say, look it up. Look it up. That's not a lie. It's not, you're not going to find it, but look it up. You could look up anything today. You ever ask Alexa, hey Alexa, define the word, and then she tells you something you didn't ask her? You give up, right? Same thing here. You just give up. I trust him. He's a good guy. That's how you remove wallpaper, folks. See you on the next video.